Hi everyone, my name is James and I'm a wildlife filmmaker based in Bristol. When I'm not working, you can find me on Instagram at @WildJamesHanson, running through the city or exploring the wonderful nature that's around me. Today I'm at the Northern Slopes in Bristol and I'm here to show you guys how you can find wildlife even in the city, and it's all part of the City Nature Challenge. The City Nature Challenge is a global event that takes place in over 400 cities across the world. This 4-day event is running from the 30th of April to the 3rd of May this year. What we're asking you guys to do is to get outside and record wildlife, plants, anything you see, all your observations on the free iNaturalist app. Sometimes it can be really hard to find wildlife in a city, and that's why I've got expert with me, Hannah Welsh, and she's from the Avon Wildlife Trust, part of their My Wild City project. So Hannah, why is it we're here at the Northern Slopes?
Hi James, we're here today at the Northern Slopes because this is one of our My Wild City project sites. So we're working on 8 local wildlife sites in Bristol, in the city, and this is a lottery funded project working with the council. So these are all council owned sites and they're all kind of in amongst the city, and we're working on these sites to make them better for people and for wildlife.
And in your opinion, why is that really important that you're getting the local communities out and exploring their green spaces nearby?
Well, there's many reasons. One is for people's health and well-being. So we know that being out in nature is really, really good for us. It makes us healthier, it makes us happier. From any age, so from children up to older people, we all benefit from being outdoors and connecting to nature. But also these places are at risk of being lost. So some of them are undermanaged, some aren't very loved anymore. So we really want people to connect to nature and start to love nature, so then they care for these places into the future.
Perfect, let's go find some wildlife. So Hannah, you see a lot of things around rivers. Are we looking forward to seeing anything maybe?
Yes, spring is obviously an amazing time to see loads of different wildlife. It's actually not always the best time to see mammals, except for in Bristol it's probably one of the best times now and in the next few weeks to see otter, which is one
Really?
Of, yeah,
oh, wow.
which
nice.
is one of Bristol's exciting
Yeah.
species. So down at Eastville Park, it's a good, in the morning, good time to spot otter.
Nice.
Also on one of our My Wild City project sites, Lawrence Weston Moor, we have Bristol's most endangered species, the water vole.
So, oh, really? They're in Bristol?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
in
nice.
the city.
Yeah, wow. How come they've done well there? Because I know how rare water vole are throughout the country anyway, let alone in Bristol as well.
It's quite it's a perfect ditch network running all across that bit of land. It's old farmland, and it's quite, I guess, the thing about urban areas is that they're quite often the wild areas are quite underused by people,
Right,
so they're actually quieter than some countryside areas. So they do often certain mammals and certain species do really well in urban areas, like the fox.
Yes,
as well.
yeah, of course.
Also
Bristol fox is very famous.
Yes, exactly.
So hopefully with things like City Nature Challenge, it will get people inspired, get them out there, and then maybe they can look after their own gardens in a way that's more wildlife friendly. So let's see what else we can find.
Yep.
That's beautiful here anyway.
Yeah, the Northern Slopes, yeah, it's amazing views from here. And Bristol's, yeah, you can see how green it is in Bristol.
Yeah. So as a kid, this kind of side was a nightmare to try and play with. But why is it really important for wildlife?
Yeah, so these brambly patches and kind of scrubby bits are obviously great for wildlife because people can't get in and pesky little kids can't get in. So actually you've got quite a lot going on here. The bramble is like a protected patch for lots of birds that will make their way inside and can make nests in amongst these kind of edge zones. So edge zones generally are really great places for wildlife. So it's where 2 different habitats kind of converge or mix. And I've also got things like nettle. So nettle is a really, really great spring plant coming up now. So it's a larval food plant for quite a few of our butterfly species.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So the comma and the red admiral, that's both a really important larval food plant for those species. It's actually a really good time to look out for reptiles.
Oh, really?
So not something you might instantly think you'd see in the city, and it doesn't stay still like wildflowers or trees, but actually kind of warm sunny banks like this And there's some allotments over there. So allotments are really, really great places in the city for wildlife, and especially reptiles. So slow worms are the reptile you're most likely to see. They really like basking on kind of warm, sunny patches.
Grass snakes, is now a good time for grass snakes? Or
Yeah, all reptiles will be out. So adders are also out, but
Adders?
we do have them in Bristol.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow, okay.
yeah.
Wow.
So on some of the sites kind of further out on the edges, like Dundry Slopes.
Where else might we find other wildlife in a city?
Let's go and have a look on the streets and see what we can find there.
Brilliant. So where would you start looking for wildlife in the streets?
Well, the first place is trying to kind of look for cracks in the pavement,
Right.
and getting down low. So what I was saying before about kind of looking down low and looking at the cracks in the pavement, here you can see what you might just think are weeds, but weeds are just plants in the wrong place. So we've got bittercress, and we've got this one that's here that's really common that you might recognise as sticky weed,
Oh, yes,
Cleavers.
yeah.
So that's a really good one to look out for, these kind of really thin leaflets that are coming out in a kind of rosette, this spiral. So they're really good to spot. And dandelion, obviously not more commonly you'll see the bright yellow flower.
And to grow
Sticking
right
out.
on the pavement, you know, next to
Yeah,
cars
and
and everything. It's
exactly what you
amazing.
can see right next to, yeah. And actually, I think that's a very dog-eared dog's mercury.
Oh, there we
Yeah,
are.
so there we go.
And just behind it, we have a snail.
A snail.
Yeah, wow.
There we go. So yeah, the more you look, the more you start to see
Yeah.
more things underneath.
Just like you said, taking the time and just stopping, and
Yeah.
then already we found quite a lot already.
Yeah.
It's been great to go around the northern slopes of Hannah, seeing what we can see and finding new ways to find wildlife. Don't forget, from the 30th of April to the 3rd of May will be when the City Nature Challenge will be taking place. Download the iNaturalist app and record all the observations you will be able to see. See you guys there.